Ring culture, a hot topic. And while answering fan questions on the Mind the Game podcast, LeBron James weighed in with his thoughts that the stakes are different for NBA players versus other sports. King James, talk to me.
A ring is a team accomplishment. Right. I don't know where it started. It's just it's a long conversation, especially when it comes to me individually. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport. You tell me, Allen Iverson and Charles Barkley and Steve Nash, our wasn't unbelievable. Like, oh, they can't be talked about or discussed with these guys is because this guy won one ring or won two rings or won, like, it's just weird to me. It's like saying Peyton Manning can't be in the same room with Brady or Mahomes because he only has one ring. Barry Bonds never won a World Series. So. You can't sit here and tell me that he's not the greatest baseball player to ever touch a bat.
Mad Dog?
Well, first off, LeBron's going to get his math right. 2 rings for Peyton Manning, not 1. So right out of the gate, I don't take him seriously when it comes to the historical aspect. It's where you got to know that Peyton Manning won 2 Super Bowls. He didn't win 1, and he only said 1 there. And nobody looks at baseball players, an individual player, as, well, you got to win a ring. Ted Williams never won a ring. He's the greatest hitter of all time. He didn't have the pitching. Bonds, listen, Bonds was a bad postseason player, and the Giants won 3 after he retired. But Bonds is not the greatest hitter of all time because Bonds, before steroids, was not on that, Ruthian level, or Ohtani, anybody you want to mention, Judge. So you got to throw him out of the window too. And with baseball, it's about the pitchers. It's not in postseason. It's not about the offensive players because the offensive players are only getting up 4 times a game. Pitchers got the ball in his hands. The NBA thing, this started with the centers. This started with Russell. If LeBron wants to know where the ring scenario started, go look at the history of the NBA. All the great centers have won. Mike won. He won 4. Russell won 11. Wilt won 2. Kareem won 6. He won 5 with the Lakers and 1 with Magic. Elijah won a couple. Milwaukee. Shaq won plenty. The only one who didn't win it with the centers is Ewing, and that's why he's always a tricky one to discuss because of the fact that he didn't win a championship and he was a great all-time center, but he had to go beat Jordan and Elijah won. Nobody looks at Barkley that way. He's not a center. And the quarterback situation, if you're a great quarterback who plays 15, 18 years, you should be able to figure out to win a Super Bowl, okay? Mahomes, Brady, Manning, Staubach won, Elway won. Aikman won. Steve Young won, Montana won. Most of the great quarterbacks who have played in the NFL, not all. Y.A. Tittle didn't win 1, and he was great. But most of the great quarterbacks, Sonny Jurgensen didn't win 1, he's in the Hall of Fame. Most of the great quarterbacks in the NFL have at least 1 year in their career where they win a Super Bowl. And that's where Josh Allen's going to have to win 1. Somewhere, and Joe Burrow is going to have to win 1. Because if Burrow and Allen want to be considered an all-time great, this is what this comes down to. This is all-time great. If they want to be in that class, they got to win a Super Bowl. Josh Allen's going to play 15, 18 years. One of these years, he's going to have to beat Mahomes and win 1. Burrow's beat Mahomes, but he didn't win a Super Bowl yet. If you want to be on that level, you have to win 1. Centers, quarterbacks, pitchers. Those are the 3 that is defined with legacy. Not offensive players in baseball, because Ted Williams didn't have a pitching staff. Not fair. Not guards in basketball. Not guards. It's centers. That's where this discussion is always centered on in the last 100 years of sports. And the quarterback is the quarterback. That's what I would say. And LeBron, Peyton won 2. Not 1. You got to get that one right. If you're going to sit there and give me a little history lesson on the great quarterbacks, why isn't Manning in the Brady class? At least get it right. How many championships Peyton Manning won?
Maybe he forgot about the Denver one.
Well, you can't.
I know, I'm just telling you. It was
can't.
Indy and then he went to Denver.
If you're going to pontificate, get it right. You got it wrong. You know what he was talking about. He's won 2. You think Manning like that? Well, I only won. I won 2. LeBron, I won 2. Anyway, that's me.
Wendy?
Go ahead.
I want to congratulate Dog, even by Dog standards, bringing Y.A. Tittle into this. Great A, on top of your game, Mad Dog. So you guys are catching me on this 8 weeks into a playoff run. And, I'm tired, I'm sick, I'm not even playing, right? I'm just traveling. I have so much respect for what it takes to get to this point, because I have, over the last 20 years, spent so much time out here with these teams every step of the way. Having seen LeBron go through 8 straight playoff runs and reach the finals is truly one of the great accomplishments of this generation. 8 straight finals. People never talk about 8 straight because he lost 5 of them. They think that's some sort of drag down. And so on that, I would agree with LeBron. I would agree that counting the championships is a tough way to define legacy because it completely strips nuance. And nuance is everything. But I would also say that LeBron has contributed to this. He's contributed to this by himself comparing himself to Jordan. He's contributed to this by getting up there with the Heat and saying not 5, not 6, not 7. Even if that was just a one moment slip, that was maybe a lack of awareness. That's the way he approached it, and that he has gone from team to team sort of seeking championships. So I would say that I can both be on his side and say that his career is undervalued because it's just so often reduced to the number of the rings, and also say that he has been a part of why it's turned into this so often.
You are beyond wrong, Wendy. You're not even close to being right on this one. Not. I'm sorry. No way in hell. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, you brought up LeBron and the rings, okay? Who's devalued LeBron? See, that's the BS that we have to stop letting him and his camp get away.
Lots of people have.
Once again, no, excuse me. When we talk about the GOAT, because he's not in a lot of people's eyes, it's Michael Jordan. That is it. Everybody universally recognizes him as one of the top 3 players in the history of basketball. What the hell else do you want? A diaper and a bib? What do you want? Do you want us to feed you some applesauce or something? My God, what more can you do? Other than saying he's not the GOAT, he's number 2 or number 3 if you want to put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's resume in there. What else is there? There's nothing else to deny him. And everybody recognizes that. It's factually incorrect when they walk around acting like he's been devalued. It is not true. It is not true. Now, let's get to the point that you and I do agree about. If it didn't mean much or should it mean much, well then, why were you so relieved to finally have one? Why did you depart Cleveland to go to Miami and join forces with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade to get one? Why did you depart from there to go back to Cleveland? Because LeBron only went back to Cleveland for one reason: to resurrect his reputation and his stature, because it wasn't that he departed from Cleveland, it's that he didn't deliver the chip when he departed. So he went back to erase a more than half-century curse on that area in professional sports because they hadn't captured what? A championship. So in other words, he understood it in departing for Cleveland to go to Miami. He understood it in departing from Miami to go back to Cleveland. He understood it when he arrived in Tinseltown with the Lakers, that stars, superstars who wore the purple and gold, he couldn't be the one person that didn't capture a championship. He had to get at least one. But now that you've got it, all of a sudden, you really don't understand why it's of so importance. It's nonsense. He understands why, but let me take it to a level he's not going to take it to, that most of us, Doggy, myself, and many, many others would. Once upon a time, Wendy, you know this, the endorsement dollars, the sizzle, the shine, and all the monetary compensation that came your way because of it was courtesy for championships. You weren't getting that kind of shine when you weren't winning. If you didn't win anything, it wasn't coming to you like that. What happened is that we've been able to use championships as validation for the shine that you receive. Because without it, you just see a lot of cats getting a lot of money. Why is that a problem? It's a problem because on too many occasions, I'm not talking about on the court, because I would never accuse a player of being lackadaisical on the court. They show up on the court and they give you effort. I'm talking about the commitment that LeBron gives, that he's revered for, along with many others, and what they bring to the table off the court in the off season. Are you constantly working to improve your craft and to elevate your level of play? The audience needs to see that. And validation is an insatiable appetite for the chip. If you don't have an appetite for the chip and you're laissez-faire about it, and it's okay, I didn't win, all right, so be it, it's all right, there's more things to life. The audience ain't gonna like that. The patrons ain't gonna wanna patronize your product, your brand, et cetera, because the emotional investment they place in you, the reward that they expect to receive at the very least is a passionate approach to you in pursuit of excellence. And excellence is defined by winning. You talk about we don't remember number 2. You know who we do remember other than winners? People who really, really sucked, who were really, really horrible, that really, really didn't care along the way. Oh, we remember them too. And when you're trying to capture championships and you're in tireless pursuit of it, that's what the people want to see. That's where they feel like their emotional investment and their monetary investment in you is paid back to them. So when you say why you don't know why championships don't mean, let me tell you something to somebody who knows Allen Iverson as a reporter better than me, bro. Let me tell y'all something right now. If Allen Iverson could have did a lot of things better off the court, there is no question about that. Practice habits, conditioning, etc. I got that part. But the reason why he's beloved by the city of Philadelphia and revered by the basketball world is that at 6'1", 160, he used to go up against giants and played to the death every single damn game. And when you saw that, you knew it wasn't because of him. You knew it was because of what he was lacking, meaning pieces around him. Because if Shaq in his prime and Kobe weren't standing in his way, Allen Iverson would have captured the championship. And everybody knows that. That's what you're looking for when you're watching. That's why championships mean it's not the actual ring, it's the pursuit of it and a commitment to going for it. Come hella high water. LeBron knows that, whether he's willing to admit it.
And I think you just brought up the name, Stephen A., that has really framed this argument as much as Jordan or LeBron, and that's Kobe. And, you know, it's times like these where you so miss Kobe. And I would just say that the greatest podcast that we never had was Kobe and LeBron. Because the framing of this, you talk about how LeBron has contributed to this. Kobe contributed to this too. Because the Kobe mentality was, the Mamba mentality was championship or bust. And while Jordan and LeBron is the eternal debate, I have, you know, observed and learned that for the modern player, including so many of today's players, LeBron's contemporaries, you're either a Kobe guy or a LeBron guy. And I know that Kobe, if he was on the other side of that table, other than Steve Nash, he would have had some words for LeBron, and they wouldn't have been.
You're damn right.
There wouldn't have been an agreement.
You're damn right.
So I do think that this is also
way
a
that
Kobe-LeBron ideology. Yeah.
Well, you can say it's an ideology, but you said, hold on, doggy. The last point. You can say it's an ideology, Wendy, but you also really, really told the truth on this one. First of all, Kobe would have had a few words, but I tell you why he wouldn't have. Because LeBron would have never said that sitting across the table from Kobe. Because he knows it would have been an instant argument. There's no way in hell he would have said that. Never. He wouldn't have said that across the table from Pat Riley.
The most interesting guy in the history of, well, in basketball case, is Wilt. That's the most interesting guy because he lost in triple overtime in his college year at Kansas. He lost a lot of game sevens in big spots to Russell.
Quit in one final.
A lot of them his fault. A lot of them Wilt's fault. But he won 2 titles where he was on 2 of the greatest teams in the history of the NBA, and he anchored them. The 66-67 76ers and the 71-72 Lakers. So he's got the 2 championships on iconic teams, but he was bad against Russell, and he left about 4 or 5 championships on the table. He is a very, very difficult guy to analyze as far as the intangible. This is an intangible argument. These are all great players. This is an intangible argument. And from a Wilt intangible standpoint, it's a very tricky one.
But if you're a phenomenal player and you've done everything you can do, right, controlling everything you control, giving the game your best, and whether it's injuries or your team and you never win a ring, does that really affect your legacy if it's forces outside of your control? And I know there's only a few names of guys when you talk about an AI or Chris Paul or Karl Malone or Patrick Ewing, different players, but are you really looking at them differently because they don't have because so much goes into it? That's what you're also all saying. That's outside of your control.
It's a
Molly,
very
it
interesting
depends
point.
on a-
Malone,
hold
go
on.
ahead, Steve.
It depends on a player. Doggy just brought up Wilt Chamberlain. Knowing Bill Russell was your nemesis and not achieving, but most importantly, not appearing as dedicated, even quitting in one NBA Finals, according to numerous observers over the years. That's an indictment against the late, great Wilt Chamberlain, as dominant as he was. You're somebody else. Like, if you remember, Charles Barkley was a great, great player. But he even pointed out how Dr. J might have gotten on him or whatever. You got to be more dedicated. Moses Malone might have said that. But Jordan stood in his way and prevented him. Ewing, Olajuwon stood in his way. So you don't hold it against them in an insulting way, but you do recognize there's levels. And there's a certain level that Olajuwon was on, that Jordan was on, that a Ewing or a Barkley wasn't, even though they were phenomenal. You do know that.
No, I understand it. It's just also, yeah, it's not tennis. It's a total team sport. All right.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Keep them down, try to wear, I pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA, ESPN.